Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm playing King of the Hill chess, where a player can win by placing the king in the center 4 squares, or by checkmating. My goal is to win 5 games. Let's get started with game number 1. Those of you that are longtime viewers know that I normally play the London, but today I'm going to be trying out a new opening called the Blackmar-Deemer Gambit. Now you might be wondering, Tony, why would you play a totally random new opening? Which actually I don't get the opportunity to play right now because we've been met with e5, which is super aggressive. But the reason that I'm going to be trying out that new opening is to do exactly what my opponent is trying to do to me right now, which is to get the king out as early as possible. Unfortunately, my opponent has beat me to the punch, so now I have to kind of play defense and start controlling these central squares as quickly as I can. So I'm going to defend e5 with my knight, and then my next idea is to play check, boot the king, send it back, and then maybe I can approach with my own king. Okay, bishop to b4 is clearly check. Let's play bishop to d2 to force my opponent to actually do something about this bishop. And maybe if my opponent takes, maybe I can recapture with my own king. There's then ideas of d5. If I do en passant, I'm still controlling these 2 squares. My opponent could take back with check, and maybe king to c3 has some sort of merit. It's a little bit tricky though. Okay, we get d5 right away instead. What happens if I just take this bishop? My opponent will take, which does hit the knight. I could play check, king has to move out of the way, check with the knight leads to losing to this, so that's not a possibility. Maybe g4 drags the king a little bit further away. I'm willing to bite into that, so I'm going to take this free bishop. All right, we do get that capture. Let's play bishop to c4 check. King has to move out of the way. I suppose the king will move to f5 to stay in the game of actually playing for the center. If the king moves straight back, defending the queen, what is happening? Okay, I think my opponent's kind of lost a grip of reality because I just take here with check and we do get resignation before I can even play the move. Nice. With that, we win game number 1. Let's move on to game number 2. All right, game number 2, we get the black pieces this time. I'm not sure if you can play that gambit with the black pieces, but I mean, we'll give it a try. King to e2 straight away. Okay, another thing that I learned from the first time that I played this is that grabbing as much space as possible is usually a huge advantage. So I'm going to grab all the space that I can get. My opponent plays e4, obviously with the idea that takes, loses right away for me. So I'm going to play d4, close up the center, and as long as my opponent can't go into the position, then I should be totally fine. Let's play check. The king moves back, maybe check again. King moves all the way back. And at that point, we've basically just got a lot of free space at no extra cost, basically. Let's play check, dive in with the queen. Maybe we can pick up e4. Okay, the king moves forward. If I take with check, then what? My opponent moves over and I win a free rook. Oh, nice. Okay, we get resignation right away. Cool. With that, we win game number 2. Let's move on to game number 3. Okay, this idea of kind of seizing the center as quickly as possible so far has been very successful. Usually the opponents overextend. Oh, nice, d5. Now I get to play the gambit. I can already see the comments section saying, who are you and what did you do with Tony? We get king to d7, so my opponent doesn't even bite, which just means I can play e5 and grab a lot of extra space. And now that we've basically closed up the center, it's going to be very difficult for my opponent to justify king to d7. Okay, we'll take back with check. Okay, king moves up to d6. Let's develop the knight. There's ideas of check. And the problem is, unless my opponent can displace this pawn and the knight before I can target the king, then I'm just going to basically throw all of my pieces at my opponent's king and eventually win. Okay, we get knight to c6. There's ideas now of check. Opponent moves out of the way, check with the queen, moves out of the way again. There has to be something winning there, so we'll play that first check. King to e6 is forced. Nice, we do get queen to g4 check. Again, king to f6 is forced. And bishop to g5 is checkmate. Okay, nice. Seems to be that this has worked out exactly backwards, where originally, and I spent so much time looking at that opening, I even watched the whole video on it because I was really excited to play it. D4, terrible arrows, and then e4 with the idea of sacking and then moving the king straight forward into the position. But it seems my opponents have been even more hungry to dive in with the king than I have. Oh, you can see my opponent drawing arrows. So I haven't gotten the chance to play the gambit yet, but we do have 3 victories under our belt. Let's move on to game number 4. All right, game number 4. Oh, we get the same opponent. So I will play this, but I won't count it. We get e4. I never play e5, so I'm going to play d5 instead. We'll play like a Scandinavian. Okay, my opponent takes. I'll take back with the queen, and we'll see if my opponents learn their lesson about moving the king forward. Queen to f3. Sure, we can trade. It'll be a little bit less dangerous if there's no queen. So actually, I will take the first step towards walking towards the center. Okay, how are you going to stop both of these at the same time? Seems absolutely impossible. Nice, and we do get that victory. We win game number 4, but I won't actually count that one because that was the same opponent. Let's move on to game number 5. Oh my goodness. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, we have the same opponent again. Let's see if this plays out exactly the same. That would be quite funny. Okay, my opponent's trying something new this time. I will start rushing towards the center since my opponent didn't know how to stop it last time. It seems this episode is just going to be me farming rating points. I don't see this ending any other way. Queens are still on the board, so it's definitely still possible for my opponent to stop me. It's just going to be a little bit tricky. Okay, let's see. If king here, queen here stops me from coming to the center. Let's play e4. Maybe we can lure the bishop in, pin it. There's ideas of f3. Sure, my opponent bites. We'll play queen to e1. If check, looking for a queen trade, there's simply knight to c3, which actually doubles down the pressure on the bishop. Okay, queen to g5 I didn't consider. If king here, there's check, and then I just have to move over. I really didn't do anything with all that extra time. And if I move straight back, then I walk away from the center, which I also don't want to do. So we'll block with the queen with the idea that this trade allows king to d4. Nice. We'll take back. Knight to c6 stops d4, but then I win this way. And then anything that defends the bishop allows king to d4. Nice, we get king to e7. We will win in style by dodging the bishop, and we get victory with king to d4. Nice. With that, again, we win game number 5, but I won't count that either. Officially, we have 3 victories under our belt. I'm going to give chess.com a cooldown period to see if I get paired with somebody new this time. All right, we do get somebody new, and actually somebody of about the same rating. We get pawn to e4. Let's play d5 again. I like the idea of keeping the center open because it brings into play the ideas that the king can rush to the center. So I think that's much more interesting than closing up the center like I did last time and then just playing a normal game. My opponent asks, real question mark? Yep, definitely real. I can still feel my fingers and everything. Knight to c3, queen here, check. I feel like tempo is going to be very important here. So typically I play queen back to d8, but I'm going to play check to keep the tempo. My opponent has to block in some way, and then it's my turn. The question is, do I bum rush the center, or do I just try to develop normally? Oh my goodness, look at that. Knight to c6 is what I meant to draw. Or do I just develop normally and just fight for the center? I'm gonna go for it. King to d7. I'm gonna play this like a absolute madman. Oh, dude, my opponent says literally can't eat my lunch without your videos. Keep it up, bro. Dude, I really appreciate that. Thanks for watching. Okay, we get knight to h3. Let's just go for it. King to d6, obviously threatening king to e5. Okay, we get pawn to f4, naturally defending e5. Now, is there anything that I can do about actually getting into the center? Because the thing is, my opponent isn't blocking me with pieces. My opponent is reaching into the center, which means I have to go further to remove these pieces. Let's try queen to f6. And the idea is we have the double threat of queen takes f4, which threatens king to e5 on the next turn, or queen takes c3, which also threatens king to d5. Okay, it doesn't work anymore now if I take on f4, then the bishop takes, still covering the square, and obviously I can't reach c3 anymore. My opponent's playing an excellent game. Let's take advantage of taking here, and maybe we can expose our opponent's king a little bit after we double the pawns. If we can get the opponent's king in a little bit of trouble, then maybe there's also going to be some sort of checkmating threats that we can keep our eyes peeled for. Nice, king moves to f1, which means we can take with check. King shuffles over to g1. The king is definitely weak, but probably not as weak as my king is sitting around in the center right now. Kind of a weird move to make this late in the game, but let's play knight to f6. Develop one of my pieces. Maybe we can even play like g5, rook to g8, and try to take advantage of the king's placement. Get bishop to f3 with ideas of taking, and also maybe bishop to g2, booting the queen. Should probably be concerned about both of those, but I'm going to play g5. I'm going to go for it. I mean, I'm down to almost a minute. Knight to b5 gives clear check. King to e6. It's kind of scary. Walks into, oh, actually, no, it doesn't walk into this. Terrible arrow. Doesn't walk into bishop to g4 because the knight covers it. If I play here, there's ideas of check, king back. I might as well just move my king back and concede right away. I don't see any real advantage to keeping the king in the center just to get harassed by other pieces. Okay, bishop clearly takes. I think I have a new plan, though. I think I'm going for checkmate now. So I'm going to take on f4 and allow the bishop to take with the idea of check. I have no idea if this actually works. That's to say I haven't calculated anything concretely. But with 46 seconds left, I'm going to pretend like I'm very stressed out by the time and just play this quickly and blindly hope that it works. Okay, opponent takes on f4 instead of here with the idea that if I play check, there's bishop to g3. I might even sacrifice, though. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but I'm considering it. Let's play check. We don't lose anything by winning the tempo. Bishop does go back to g3. Knight to h5, kind of interesting. Okay, we've definitely overextended here. We're down to 23 seconds, so I'm just going to play it and see what happens. Maybe bishop h6 with bishop to e3. As long as the queen doesn't get traded off, I think we still have hope here. Not to mention this is 3-2, so 3 minutes base time, but we get 2 seconds extra after every move. Okay, queen to f3 adds defender. I think I can still take though. Takes, wins the queen. There's ideas of check, king moves back. Check, I just trade. Takes, I move out of the way. I mean, there might be a draw there, but okay, I'm going to take here on g3. Okay, take with check, and then I win the queen. 10 seconds left on the clock, but this should be a relatively easy conversion. If the king moves out of the way, okay, we do take back with check. Won't bother explaining something that didn't happen. Let's play check. Sure, king approaches the center, which I'm not super excited about. Not a lot of time. Let's play c6. The idea is king to d5. 5 seconds left on the clock, and I still have to deal with the fact that my opponent could win by bringing the king to the center, so still a sticky situation. Nice, let's walk towards the center. Sure, opponent blocks. Let's play check, looking for the sacrifice. Nice. Oh, I can't take because then my opponent just takes back with the pawn. Oh, I'm low on time. Low on time alert. Let's move out of the way. Check, maybe. Hopefully does something. Check again. Check. Not a great place to be. Oh, goodness, there's nothing I can do. Okay, shuffle the king out of the way. I'm still going to play it to see if I can pull it off, but this should be losing at this point. Wow. Relatively easy conversion. What a bunch of... I'll spare the extra word. Let's block this way. Sure, check. Oh, no! Ladder's checkmate. Oh, my opponent doesn't play it, though. But we do get the king to the center, and we actually lose game number 6. Wow. Very well played by my opponent. Good reason to not resign. Let's go ahead and move on to game number 7. All right, game number 7. I might play this one a little bit more normally. Let's play e4 anyways. We're still trying to control the center. Okay, d5. We'll play e5, close up the center. That's totally fine. Bishop to f5. Let's offer a trade. Okay, e6. Let's play knight to f3. Sure, this is basically normal development at this point. Do I castle? Probably not. Let's just keep the king somewhere near the center in case it ever opens up. Move the bishop back. g5, pretty aggressive. Sure, let's play c3. We do get that trade, totally fine. Knight to f5 offers that trade, sure. We can open up a line for the rook. f6, definitely going to try to open up the center. Let's go ahead and take, and then we'll actually castle long. It keeps the king relatively near the center, but it also connects the rooks. So we can bring the rooks to this open file, maybe hit this pawn. Knight to e5 check. I'm happy to trade. It could centralize my rook. Nice. And then there's also ideas of f4, right? If we open up the position, obviously it opens up more ways for the king to potentially come over, but it also allows more of our pieces to start attacking the king. So let's play f4 here, looking to open some lines. g4 obviously closes them right away. Let's double our rooks, looking at e6. Sure, my opponent defends. Let's reroute this knight. It's a little bit misplaced back here, not really looking at anything. Okay, opponent tries to stop it, but hangs a6 in the process. Maybe queen to b7, looking at c7 as well. The thing about playing defensively is that if you have any other weaknesses the opponent can take advantage of, then you're kind of in trouble. Like here, queen to a7 targets this. Okay, rook to e7 does a good job of defending both of these at the same time. Very impressive. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring the knight back because I'm not really interested in allowing my opponent to move to e4 with the knight, which would disconnect my rooks. Ooh, queen takes f4. Looks like it allows rook to f1, which wins the queen on the next turn. Nice. We do get the queen sack for the rook. We'll take back with the knight. Knight to c4 displaces my rook. Let's go ahead and just shuffle back to, I guess e1 is fine, defending the knight. Rook to f8, and the biggest thing we have to watch out for, which is what happened last time, is not allowing our opponent's king to move to the center. Let's play b3 and boot the knight. Okay, knight returns to d6. Let's go ahead and bring the queen back as well, since she is attacking c7, but besides that, she's not doing all that much on a7, so let's play check. Ooh, king to g5, very aggressive. Let's play rook to e5 check. Knight to f5 does cover it, but it also pins the knight. Let's play knight to g3, add a little bit of pressure. Wow, arrows as bad as always. Put a little bit more pressure on that knight on f5. We are threatening to take, since if the pawn takes back, then we win the rook. Rook to f7. I think we're good to take here, so we'll take, at least in the spirit of trading off pieces. Since we have a queen for a rook, we probably want to trade off pieces. Let's play check. Nice, we'll take with check. Rook to f6 does defend it. And I'm going to take that extra tempo to just move my king towards the center as well. Okay, we'll take with check. We can take on d5 if rook to f6, king to g5. If I play check, king to f4, check, king to f3, check, king to g2. Don't think that actually does anything for me, so I'll actually play g3 first, I think. No, let's play queen to e3 check. Queen to e3 check to stop rook to f2. Cool, now we can play g3. We get h4 immediately. Let's play c4, try to create a passed pawn. I can't play king to d3 because rook to f3 wins back the queen. a4. It's 4-3, so there definitely should be a way to create a passed pawn. h3 is fine. Let's go ahead and take. Remove the defender of e4. Okay, it gets replaced, but now we definitely have an outside passed pawn, 2 against 1. Rook to f3 threatens the queen. We'll play check, centralizing the queen. And let's just take on d5 since it allows us to play king to e4 for the win. Nice, we're threatening king to e4. It doesn't seem possible to stop. Nice, rook to e2. Sacks the rook. We'll go ahead and take it. The queen controls too many squares, and we do get the resignation. Nice. With that, we win game number 7, which is our 4th victory. Let's go ahead and move on to game number 8. Okay, game number 8, we get the black pieces. We're going for our 5th win to try to finish off this series. We get d4. Moral dilemma, do I play c5 and try to attract the pawn away, or do I play normal d5? The answer is self-explanatory. Let's play c5 and just go for it. I mean, this whole episode we've been playing extremely risky, so might as well continue the trend. King to d2, our opponent seems to have the same idea, sure. I'm down for a little race. Let's play f5 to cover the e4 square. Okay, knight to f3 threatens e5. Let's defend it with knight to c6. Knight takes. Oh, and if I take back king to d4, holy smokes! I did not see that. Fair play, fair play. If I play this, takes, queen trade, and then still knight to king to d4 is winning. Ooh, terrible situation. Okay, let's play this. King to e6. If my opponent takes, I take back. I hang the queen, but intentionally so I can play king to e5. That might work. That might actually, we might be able to get away with that. Okay, queen to d5 check just allows the victory. Nice. Okay, sweet. With that, we win game number 8, and that is our 5th victory. Just to quickly show the line that I was considering, the natural move here to continue the idea is knight takes. Still no way for me to go to the center, so I have to recapture. My opponent could take my queen, but in taking my queen to actually remove the defender of d4, there's nobody stopping me from moving to e5, which would also win the game. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down below if you guys enjoyed King of the Hill. I definitely do until I don't see my opponent's crazy tactics. And let me know down below if there's any other variants that you guys would like me to try. I will see you guys in the next one.